There it is. Sunday Night Teacher Talk, episode 325, I think. 325 episodes in a row. That's 325 hours minimum of me talking.
It's a lot of talking.
And some of you talking too. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't usually say things like this, but I'm very tired today. We had homecoming last night. We both chaperoned homecoming. Yeah. Which I'm going to tell you, they already did it, so I didn't need them. Always bring a bag of tricks whenever you chaperone a dance. I brought a whole backpack filled with glow-in-the-dark rings and bracelets and necklaces, but, you know, the excellent moms that set up homecoming last night, they already had them set up, and they were already cracked and everything. They were just all over the place. Yeah. Nice.
I didn't see
it was really fun. So then our son, who's at the age where now, like, friends go out after homecoming and they all went to someone's house to watch a movie. So we were up till, like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning. Something like that.
Way past our bedtime.
No, I go to bed at like 9:15. Like, I'm getting ready for bed at like 9:20 every night. So, yeah.
I know someone told me today that I look tired at church. I was like, it's accurate.
Isn't it a weird thing to tell someone? It's like, you don't look that good today.
Right?
You look less than you usually do. So, yeah. But that, I think that, you know, babe, when I brought that stuff last night, even to think of that, that's what, like, really sprinkling magic is like going into any situation and seeing how, like, Walt Disney would say, how do I plus this situation? How do I plus this? Yeah. And thinking about that. And so then I had a bunch of challenges at the dance last night too, where it's like kids that weren't dancing, trying to get them the dogs don't want to come in here. Trying to get them dancing. Kids that were, come on, buddy. Did we miss you for the live feed? Sorry. It was like doing that stuff. Then the kids were like, yo, will you come out and dance with us if we do this one thing? And I'm like, yep, like, let's do it. So there's video out there somewhere of me dancing last night.
Maybe it'll end up on your
I was having social. I danced to a few songs, especially when they start playing those 80s jams. I'm all up in there.
I know. Lopez said to take a nap after today's program.
Yo, I have to mow the lawn, so there will be no nap taking.
I might take a nap.
And lesson plans.
Oh. You all know that life.
Yep.
All right, are you ready?
I'll go to bed plenty early this evening, though, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. I even fell asleep during our show last night.
I was going to say, that's what CJ needs to do. He needs to catch up on the show that he fell asleep, that I miraculously did not fall asleep through.
Yeah.
It's usually the other way around, and I watched.
I just woke up to people screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good ending.
Nice. All right, hit it. Let's do some questions.
All right. Well, Ruth, thank you so much for your super chat. Always appreciated. Brossett's up first asking, what are your thoughts about junior high and high school romantic relationships?
I think as long as those teachers aren't married, you know.
Are you talking about?
I know, I'm just kidding. He's talking about kids.
Students, yeah. Confused me. I'm tired.
Listen. In Philly, I worked with all young teachers, so there was plenty of romantic relationships going on at any given time. So
that's true.
Which created a lot of drama. There was a time when I was like one of the only married people.
You were the only married person. I think when you started BL, you were like the only married with children.
No, there was like Hasty, me,
and Mansfield.
And he was in Jersey. Oh. I forget, something like that. So anyway, you know, Brossett, one of the things I try and talk to kids about is like, I talk about this stuff. Depends on the kid. Depends on what I think is happening in that relationship. But I want especially young women, to know their worth. And and this isn't like everybody should be having these conversations with kids. There are certain things I talk about. And it's not that here goes the police by my house. Sorry.
Which is actually a rarity.
It's very rare. I feel like we're back in the old house. I have these conversations because I am not because I'm special, but because I have them, right? And I have them regularly, and I don't just have them when something comes up. It's like we're constantly talking about life stuff. I want young women to know their worth And I want young men to know that you don't have to do anything because everybody else is doing it. Like, what are your values? And then living into that. And then, I think that one of the things we even talk to our own kids about is that this pressure to like have a boyfriend or have a girlfriend, or did you kiss anybody yet? Or are you a virgin? Or, all the things. And it's like, we connected because we were friends first. And I mean, she definitely liked me. I could tell from the beginning, but like we were friends. And I think that that's what really helped the relationship. And so I can only share what my experience has been with kids, but it's like, don't feel the pressure, like go out and have fun. And one of the things I tell, this is a side note, this isn't even when you're asking, but like we're at homecoming last night and it's like, dude, only ask people to date if they're awesome. Like being good looking or having some money or a nice car, like isn't enough. If you're a drag, if you go to the dance and you suck, then what a waste. Like I want to date someone who's fun, and we've always had fun. Like nobody else, no other adults danced at the homecoming last night. And I'm not like saying we're better than anyone else at all. But some people like Mike was working the door and stuff like that. So like he had a post, but like, I feel like no matter where we go, we're we those
like
people.
To have fun together,
yeah.
Or just even laugh,
and I think silly. That kids get away from that. It becomes so quickly about sex or making out or what everyone else thinks you should be doing or whether or not you're cool. And it's like, are you fun? Like I like talking to kids about that. Like, know your worth. Know you don't have to do anything that anyone else thinks you should do. And in case someone else is telling you, Mr. Reynolds told you that. So, and then have fun.
So what do you think about like high school and junior high relationships are so dramatic? What do you talk about?
It is what it is. It seems to me like practice. And it kind of depends. Like when we were kids though, like, I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, you had a different upbringing than me, but like middle school relationships were like, I like you or I like you. And then holding hands was a big deal. Like I feel like I saw in John Mellencamp, like holding hands was a really big deal. Like slow dancing was a big deal. We weren't like making out. Yeah, it's like, but I just think that like by and large, like I just don't do drama, and I don't think I did it as much as a kid either. Like,
did you advise students ever to like kind of like
cut the drama
or steer clear of the drama?
I think I do all the time. Okay. It's like you're just trying to make yourself feel important, and there's other ways you can feel important, other ways you can do good stuff.
Someone said in the comments that high school, like these younger high school relationships let me find what they said. They usually don't mean much in the long scheme of things, but however, it means everything to them right now.
Yeah.
And I think
I honor that.
That's a really great point, right? It's new, it's fun, it's exciting.
Yeah, you've never had someone like you or like you.
Good to have someone like you, right? Like,
but don't wrap your self-worth up in it. That's what I'm saying. Like, just because some dude likes you doesn't mean you have to do what they want. It's like
who you are or any of your values, right? We really try and tell our kids to like, nope, starting off as friends is probably the best thing you can do. Like before entering into a relationship, it's like, get to know the people. Like, it's not just
and date them because they're all
physical, right? It's not just physical. That's a portion of it. But like, do you like their character, who they are? Like, we try and remind our kids of those bigger kind of points. All right. Up next is Tracy asking, what are you looking forward most to about KnowledgeCon?
Trying to swing coming out. I would not expect anything less, Miss Pinter. That would be awesome.
I'm trying to swing for me to be able to go too.
Amen.
I would love it.
So for those of you that don't know, KnowledgeCon Knowledge is the parent company of the show that I'm on. Which, man, there's big things happening with Rules to Engagement, but
there's definitely a season 2 coming.
Yeah, there's definitely season 2. A lot more of them. It's going to be. It's definitely going to be the next level.
Leveling up.
I think I'm looking forward to the same thing I looked forward to in a lot of conferences, Trace, which is being in rooms with people that are doing great stuff. The older I get, the more I have edged out people that drain my energy and tried to put myself, every time I meet someone cool, like even where we live, I always ask them to get coffee or to meet up or to grab lunch, or it's usually coffee. But like, I want to be in company with people that are doing great stuff, because then I feel like it's like, I feel energized and motivated to do more. So when I am, and yeah, I think that's what I'm looking forward to. So like dudes like Dennis McKeezy, like I just want to talk to that guy. Like I just want to sit down and like find a space to like just pick his brain and ask him about stuff. I had a call with Dave Burgess. I'm going to be on an episode of his podcast. And I took up a bunch of his time on the front end and on the back end of that, just asking him about stuff. Because I just think he's like he's definitely the best educational speaker I've ever heard point blank in my life. And I think he's also one of the best educators I've ever met. And has one of the best books. Like Teach Like a Pirate's one of my favorite books of any educational book ever. That it's proximity to greatness. That's what I'm looking forward to. And if folks come, they will have that also. You're not just going to a conference. You're going to be able to mix it up with these folks, ask people questions, connect with people. And I just have learned through being both in a position at those events, like whether it's Get Your Teach On or Knowledge Con or something like that. I've been on stage at those. What is like being in the audience also, I just leave transformed. And that's what I'm looking to do, is like, I want to transform and be transformed at that event.
I think they're so electric because you have so many like-minded people. You might not be exactly the same. You're not exactly the same.
Yeah.
But it's like educators all coming together for the same like desire to do good work, to be their best they can be, to invest in children. And that alone is so electric.
Yes.
Plus all the amazing speakers that they have.
It's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right. Patrick is up next asking, what are your best tips for first year teachers? Every day I come home exhausted from huge amounts of lesson preparations and planning because I want my lessons to be really good.
I have an answer. I'm trying to figure out what's going to best fit you. I think if I'm thinking about being tired, it's going to sound counterintuitive, but it's getting enough rest. And I know that sounds silly and easy, but it's really not. I think it's counterintuitive because there's so much to get done. So folks just work these long hours, but I find that my hours are more productive when I am well rested. I almost never go with under 7 hours of sleep anymore. It's just too important to me. So even when I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, some days, I know I got minimum 7 hours of sleep most of the time. Like there are times when like I'll wake up even earlier and I'm like, bro, I'm just up. I can't fall back asleep. But the other thing is really being mindful of what you're eating as well, or your blood work. Like, and this is like, right, it's like stuff you're not going to get. Like no one else, like I'm going to tell you this because there's not another teacher that's going to tell you this. If like right now, I know, I can feel it in my body that I've not been taking vitamin D or B12 supplements. I know I'm tired because of that.
I just said that the other day. I'm like, I'm tired. And I'm like, oh, it's because I need to reorder supplements that we're missing.
I just am not getting enough. And it makes me tired. And I know that when I have it, I am like,
better.
I've been noticing, I said this earlier. I was like, a couple weeks ago, I'm like, I haven't been like, this is such a ridiculous thing to say out loud. I haven't been singing and dancing in the house as much. And I know it's because of that.
Yeah.
Because my life is so great that there's no reason I shouldn't be singing and dancing in the house, but I haven't been. And like, I know that that's part of it, right? So it's like making sure that nutrition level is there and that you are sleeping enough and that you are not delinquent in any sort of like stuff. The other thing I think, Patrick, is really realizing that the more I can systematize fun, the easier it is. And so how can I systematize my class so that I'm running this play every day where I'm not recreating the wheel? Because then I'm doing like plug and play moments instead of like trying to think of like the next craziest, biggest thing. I think that's a big piece of it as well. And then this is the last thing I'm going to say. So let me run that through in case you're new here, because sometimes I talk about stuff so much that I'm not sure. I like assume people have heard it. So for my class, it's like it's broken up into chunks, different chunks each day, right? So there's a 5-minute like basic pre-class, kind of getting everyone centered. There's a 10-minute, usually sometimes are longer, vocab review. Then there's like the 20-minute, 25-minute big chunk. I only have 42-minute classes, which is a bit of a challenge. And then something smaller at the end, like a I don't do exit tickets, but like basically like a check for understanding kind of a thing. So that's the play every day. So then if I only have those 4 things, I only have 4 things to plug in for every day, and my day is chunked up so that I can get through all of those activities. Now, when I'm creating lessons, it's not like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do first? How am I going to start today off? It's the same thing every day. And then I look for places for magic. So I'm not creating magic. I'm inserting magic. It's like, what do we need to learn? How do we need to get this done? And then what would this look like if it was awesome? So sometimes those magical moments are at the door when I'm shaking hands. Sometimes they're in the hallway. Sometimes it's during lunch. Sometimes it's at the end of the day. Sometimes it's just the vocab review. And the reading is like, the reading is the reading. Like I can't, like if y'all are just reading quietly today, I can make sure I have sweet jams on in the background as long as they're not distracting anyone. But it's like we are, I try to always match the music to the vibe of the class for the day. But the vocab thing is the fun thing that we're going to do today. And that's it, right? Like, and then the rest of it is like pretty regular. So it's realizing that nowhere you go is super fun all the time unless you're at Disney World, and Disney World doesn't require any work. And so I'm trying to figure out that both end, right? So that's it. And then I think the last thing I would say to this is, what am I thinking of? I think that's.
I was going to say that the last thing to add is to put fun on your calendar, right? Like whatever is rejuvenating for you,
Yes.
Whether it's hanging out with people, you love catching up with friends, like whatever it is, put the coffee date, put the dinner date, put
Even a phone call,
an
don't
outing.
do those anymore.
We don't, and phone calls are kind of like
but like when I took
what
the
we
hour
can
and
do.
called my aunt last week,
was great.
My heart was full.
Yes, absolutely.
It was like overflowing with love.
So
And
it depends on like how busy your life is, and maybe it's just a phone call, right? Like our life is incredibly busy through things that we volunteer with the school, running teacher class off and teaching, like, and just our kids at this season of life. It's all very, very busy. So it's like just a phone call is like what we can manage. You can't always have people over for dinner. Like all these commitments are bigger, but do what you can. It's scheduling it and being mindful of it, because those things, you need a brain break from the other stuff. And if you're intentional about putting it on your calendar, it happens. And then you see how beneficial it is. In regards to your diet, I would add in, if it's something that you aren't conscious of, I would say eliminating things and then adding them back in is where you really see how it impacts your body. Because sometimes I think your normal is your normal, right? Like before we changed eating habits, like my normal was my normal, but now I know, like even today, oh yeah, it's my supplements, it's making me tired, and I had an excessive amount of sugar. Sugar makes me tired, but I only know that because I eliminated it from my diet. But they are real things that actually do impact you.
And then next thing you know, you're singing and dancing in your house more.
That's it. Absolutely. All right. Are you ready? Ruth is up next
Hit
asking, will knowledge
Ruth gave us a super chat, by the way.
I already said thank you.
Okay, well, I'm saying thank you again. Sorry.
Thanks, Ruth. But Ruth is asking, will KnowledgeCon be recorded in some way for those of us who can't attend in person?
I think they're thinking about doing that now.
Will they still charge a prorated amount, like, or is it they're just trying to get people to come because it's the magic is also part of the energy that's like when everybody's
I don't
together.
know. Ruth, I'm going to make myself a note right now and I'm going to find out for you.
That's an interesting option because sometimes, to be fair, these events can be kind of expensive. Like if you have to factor and your school isn't paying for it. It's like there's a lot of things to factor in. They're awesome events and well worth the investment if you can do them, but not everybody can do them. So how do we give access to people? That's an important question.
However, right now, if you use the code RULES, RULES, I believe it is, I think it's 50% off right now.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Which is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good selling point to your school.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because that means if it was half off, I mean, you could really go for like $1,500. Like if you just went for if you were coming out for the day, you got a hotel room, you got a decent flight, it's $1,500 for the whole thing. And then the way I used to pitch things, so the way I got my school to send me to ISTE more than once is I said, I will learn stuff and come back and teach. I'll lead a PD. Or I'll do something where I'm going to like teach the English department what I learned. Right. And that's how I razzle dazzled them into saying yes.
But I think that's a legitimate like way, like you're sharing then a collective. It's not just all that money for one person.
No, I'm going to go learn it and then I'll come back.
Yeah. Lisa is up next asking, do you still do the same weekly vocab routine with the note cards? It seems like you're posting a lot of different activities now. I'm thinking about switching to that and wonder if it still works.
Yep, I do. And here's why. So for those that don't know, every Monday you get new vocab words, depending on where we are in the unit. So typically it's 5 a week. So I start off with just 5 and then you get a new 5. So now you have 10, a new 5 to 15. And we went up to 25 and then we reset, but we're so close to the end of the book that I did 10 instead. So 10 last week, there'll be 10 more this week. And also I'm just seeing that my kids are doing really well with it. Like I have almost no one failing those tests. I have like 2 dudes and that is, I think there's something else going on there. Like, I think that I have to work.
Cases.
Yeah. So it's not like, anyway. So with that, the reason I do it is because the research is very plain in showing that writing things down by hand, not typing them. So like the Quizlet and things like that are great, but writing them down by hand commits it to memory more. I then have cards that I can then draw clues on for certain kids too. So for those handful of kids that struggle, I like help them break down a word, or I'll write a clue as like, this means, like I'll break down maybe like the root of it or something along those lines, or I'll draw a picture on it, something that's going to help them remember that word more. And then we use those cards regularly, like in every vocab review. So that might be certain music, you got to hold a card up. It might be a meme or a movie scene you got to hold a card up to. It might be I'm giving out cards. Like I'll say to someone like, hey, give me your cards. And the lesson I did last week, I put on, I think it was Instagram. I might have done it on YouTube also, where it was like, you had to draw the picture on your desk, or the one where we made Play-Doh stuff. It's constantly doing something where you're going to need the card. And that's why I have it. Because I don't want you to have to like be on your phone or get your computer out or your iPad. And some schools require kids like, I have students whose like parents make them put their phone in their locker, or they don't allow them to bring it to school or whatever. And I don't want you to walk around with a laptop. So it's like, I find the cards really work well, that old school kind of tactic there. And so that's why we do that. But I do vocab review. Well, so they get the words on Monday. We definitely do a review Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes on Friday. Other times on Friday, they just like quizzing each other. And that And it's like, hey, if that works for you, all I'm trying to do is get it to work for you. So whatever works is what I want to do. I'll tell you this, though. My best review, let me break this down because I haven't even made a video about this or anything. My best review is using words on the regular to the point where kids have started doing it in school all the time. The other night, I'm at the football game, homecoming football game, and Nate is coming off the field and coming to the sidelines. I'm sitting like second or third row back in the crowd. His family's in front of me. And he goes, Mr. Reynolds. I go, yo. He goes, I'm feeling formidable. And flexes. And I announce to the whole crowd, I go, that's a vocab word, everybody. That's my student using a vocab word. And it was hilarious. But they do that all the time and stuff. I had a kid, the two girls did it at the volleyball game one night, yelled back to me that I forget what the vocab word is, but something in a vocab word. And it's like getting to that place where it's funny to use them, but you're constantly looking for moments to say, like, they'll be like, Mr. Reynolds, can I please plug in my phone? The battery's dwindling, or whatever. And it's like, yes. So that's been my number one. It's been really funny. I think if I got rid of other reviews but kept doing that, I think kids would still do well on the assessments.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Is this employers? Employers?
I think we'll go with it.
I'm sorry. They're asking, what are key components of an outstanding lesson plan? We are currently reviewing our template because it's way too long. This is a great question.
I think so. One of the things I like to know is, what if this was easy, right? Like, how do we, like, I think too many times teachers overcomplicate lessons because they think it has to look rigorous, or it has to, on their lesson plan, they have 52 minutes to teach us. So this thing has to take 52 minutes. And we all know that teaching tone doesn't take 52 minutes. It just doesn't. Like, it doesn't take 52 minutes to teach imagery. It doesn't take 52 minutes to do a lot of things. So what if this was easy? Not dumbing it down. I am paring it down to its essence. Mr. Rogers says that simple and deep is far better than wide and complex. And I think too many teachers are making these complex lesson plans for stuff that could be easy. I think that it's also breaking lesson plans down, breaking teaching down to first principles. So what is actually important? So in my class, the reason we put so much emphasis on vocab, and I have to know this too, right? So let me say this. When I break it down to first principles, right, meaning what is at its essence? What is my class there for? What am I really trying to get at? Not just stuff to do stuff, not just because it's in the core curriculum or whatever it is, but like, what is it at its core? And then I have to know real world, why are we doing that? So vocab is important because your thoughts, feelings, ideas, and opinions are important. And I don't want you in the world to get caught up on your language and not be able to express your thoughts, feelings, opinions because you lack the language to do so. Reading is important, and I know why. Speaking is important. Telling your story is important. Backing up, like not being able to just make a claim, but back it up. Being able to be an active listener, right? Not just a speaker. Great, you have opinions and thoughts and feelings, but being able to sit there patiently, not waiting to say the next thing, but listening to someone else in a way to both educate yourself and to educate your argument in your retort. Knowing those first principles is incredibly, incredibly important. And then not doing stuff in class just because that's the way we've always done it. What do our kids need? Who are we growing them into? And then how do we make those two things meet? So when I'm thinking of lesson plans, I am never looking at, I make the curriculum fit into, like I make the standards fit into what I'm doing because I'm very clear on what we're doing. So every day we're telling our story. Every day we're reading. Every day we are writing. Every day we are working on vocabulary. And every day we're having a discussion. And sometimes those things, some parts are longer than others, but every single day we're doing those because those are at the core of what we're doing. So when I'm thinking of lesson plans, it's making sure that those things are there. And then I think the other thing that most teachers miss out on is not just making it relevant to like who we want our students to become or who they're trying to become. It's what are they interested in now? Why in the world are you talking about, like when my friend Becky Schnexer talks about kinetic and potential energy with regards to Hot Wheels going down a track and making it around a loop, that's so much more like connectable to a kid that makes them want to learn because it's relevant to what they're doing. How are you teaching this concept and not doing that? When there are things like Minecraft makes a lesson plan for everything. It is still the #1 video game in the world. If I'm teaching the Odyssey, how can I not teach it through the hero's journey and then not connect it to Marvel? It's like finding things that your students, be a student of your students. Don't just ask your kids to show up and do your work because it's your class and this is important. Be willing to step into your students' world of whatever it is they're interested in. Educate yourself there and then find the connection between what you're learning and what they care about. And it becomes so much easier to teach them.
All right. Karen, thanks so much for your super chat.
Thank you.
Karen's asking any thoughts on how to be that special ed teacher that is relevant and teaches from the heart, but is also dealing with parents who are suing the district.
So
she said also in a previous comment, she said that she's committed to sprinkling magic and it's really paying off. But as a special educator, she's finding herself drowning in paperwork.
So, all right.
I can't even imagine with being sued more that's required of her.
Yes.
For data.
To a degree. So like I'm not a special education teacher, but I've been the like so-called lead teacher, but like when you're co-teaching, we all know there's not supposed to be a lead teacher. And I never wanted to lead. I true co-teaching experiences. In those experiences, I don't know what's happening in your school, Karen, but like, I know there are parents suing the school. I know that their kids are still in my class. That I don't pay attention to that. I know that I have to like certain things I have to hand in. I know the emails I have to submit. I know all the communication stuff. Like I do all the due diligence, but to me, it's like, I try to put that out of my mind and just show up and teach the kid. When I think that's the bottom line for me. This kind of goes along with it. How do we create lesson plans? Think when we teach kids and not content. I'm not teaching a class. I'm teaching kids. It allows me to show up and care for someone no matter what. I don't care what your parents are doing. I don't care if there's a lawsuit going on. I don't care if your parents are mad at me or mad at another teacher or they don't like the school. I'm showing up and teaching you. My agreement with my students every day is that you show up to learn, I'm going to show up to teach. And my promise is I'll try to never, ever be boring or lackluster. Like I want to come in full tilt every single day. And that's not possible every day because stuff happens. But like by and large, I mean, I think I show up at least 85% of the time on 10 out of 10. So, and that's for a lot of other reasons that I kind of talked about. With regards to sprinkling magic and not drowning in paperwork, and if I didn't answer your full question on the first one, like you can give me a little more context, and if we still have time, I would love to answer that for you. But sprinkling magic, let me say this, is not dunking kids in magic, right? I kind of think of it like, and I'm not Catholic, but like there's certain Catholic churches where they do this thing. I'm laughing because it's just like, it seems like it's a party where the priest will like put like this like scepter in like some holy water and then they just like fling it on everyone, right? And I always thought that was so funny when I was a kid. So I felt like it was special when you got hit with it. Like, and I was like, I can't wipe it off my face. It's kind of like when your little kid kisses you, you're like, you don't want to wipe it off. I used to say I was rubbing it in, but I am sprinkling magic. I'm not hosing people down with it, right? It's not the cornerstone of what I'm doing. It is the icing on top of the cake. It's the gravy that goes on top of the mashed potatoes, right? It's not the mashed potatoes itself. And so I want to think of ways that are sustainable that I'm doing that. So like me blowing bubbles in the hallway, I got to be in the hallway anyway, or should be in the hallway anyway. And so blowing bubbles in the hallway is the way to sprinkle magic on the day. If I'm playing music behind a piece of reading that we're doing, if I'm playing music while kids are doing a journal entry, we did a review the other day, instead of just doing a regular old review, we just did Jeopardy in class, but I of course had a microphone with me and I played Jeopardy music that I found on YouTube that I just played through my boombox in my classroom. And it just took the regular and just made it a little bit better. And that is the sprinkling magic portion of it. It's not like when I do these like kind of room transformations and like immersive learning experiences, I don't even think of that. That's like different than sprinkling magic. That is like some next level kind of magical experience. Sprinkling magic is it's more similar to, I'm thinking of like, yeah, gosh, that's not a good example. I was going to make a Disney example, but it didn't really work. But it's finding those little ways to do it, but it's making sure that I'm getting done the things I need to get done. So even when I do paperwork, right, when I have to do lesson plans, I make a magic experience out of it as best I can. I'm in my office. I put on lights, even if they're behind me. I have like all these lights behind me that like I will put on music that I like. I clear off my desk, get a cup of coffee, and make it into a moment, right? Like I do this in my life all the time. How can I make this into a moment that doesn't suck? Or what can I do that's going to sprinkle a little magic and I have like a special treat, like I have some chocolate covered almonds maybe, or I'm drinking the Topo Chico, which is like my favorite beverage outside of coffee, that I'm doing to sprinkle some magic on it so that it's not this overwhelming task that I'm doing. Did that work? Were you even paying attention to me?
Not really.
Okay.
Sorry. I was reading about something for an upcoming question. So moving on. Flying Kiwi is asking, I'm completing my student teaching at an amazing school,
awesome.
Super warm, positive, and supportive department. Do you have any advice on how to suss out a good school fit? Do you have any green or red flags?
Yes. So I've only taught in 3 schools, and one of those schools was the majority of my career, but I get to travel to schools all over the place. Good leadership is, you can ride any wave. It's like, if you have a good surfboard, you have a far better chance of riding any wave. It's just that simple to me. And I think schools rise and fall long term on good leadership. If you have good leaders that are leading, not managing, right? Not keeping the status quo and just making sure all the paperwork's filled out and it's like your TPS report's handed in on time. It's like, like actual leaders that are like the captain of your ship. They know the school's vision. They know where we're going. They will say yes to everything that gets us there. And you feel like the person at the helm is letting you do your thing. They're letting you be the king of your thing or the queen of your scene, as my friend Myron says. And you're focused on that. That's everything. Anytime. Now, look, I can still do good work with poor leadership. It's just harder. It's like trying to surf a wave on a door you took off of your house. You could do it. You could surf a door, right? You can do it. I've seen it done. But it's not optimal. Like I want to surf on a quality surfboard. And so it helps dealing with kid problems. It helps dealing with parents. It helps dealing with poor teachers and drama and strife. It's good training. It is people unleashing you and saying yes more than no. It's not them micromanaging you. Strong leadership to me is everything. And then to me, it's for me. And now other folks, I like autonomy, right? So let me just say that. There are other folks I know that they want the script. They want the curriculum. They want the play. Give me the play. I don't. what do you want me to teach? 11th grade English? Watch me go. Right? Like I have the standards for this for the state or core curriculum or whatever you're using. I'll make sure we hit all of them. But how we get there, like just as my students say, let me cook. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what I want to know as well. I think those are bigger than anything else I can think of.
So how do you know those when you're in an interview?
You can tell. Like,
okay,
here's what you don't do. Like, we have had this conversation many times.
I'm just trying to help out.
I'm gonna put you on blast
Kiwi.
real quick. Because you will watch these trailers that schools put
I
up.
do. I'm a sucker.
Their little videos that they put on their website, and you're like, oh my gosh, look at these kids are having fun. And
they're
oh,
doing all this amazing stuff.
And so there's this school that I'm a little bit fascinated by right now. What is it called?
I don't know. You're totally.
It's a school. No. We were both kind of taken aback by the school, but like,
oh, stink.
There's a school that's like lauding themselves on like, we don't have teachers in our school. We just use AI, and kids only learn traditional learning 2 hours a day, and
the rest of the day is like
entrepreneurship and I'm saying that kind of sassy, but like
building proposals and business plans and things that you use in real world.
I get it. I just have a lot of questions, right? And so
I'm hook, line, and sinker. I totally bought the ad. I love it. I think it's great.
Like, so whether you are the Ron Clark Institute or the Ron Clark Academy or your whatever, I'm like, I want to know the behind the scenes. And I think for me, and this is probably some of my intuition, is like, you can meet a principal and know that they're really about it. So like even slightly famous people like Hamish Brewer, right? He's a friend of mine. And that guy is really about it. And you know it when you meet him. You're just like, bam, it just hits you in the face, man. My buddy Dave Martinez, who's a principal in Kansas, in Manhattan, Kansas, dude, that guy is just awesome. You know it when you talk to him because they ask different questions. You can feel that energy that like they want to be here. They love what they're doing. It's all about the kids. It's not about the curriculum. It's like, we want you to like, they're not just looking at your resume. They're asking about who you are at your core. Like there's just certain people that you can feel that out. So I think that that's what I'm really looking at. And I'm never fooled by the look of your facilities, by your little video that you put out, by your posters on the wall. Like, listen, it's gross, but this is what Beavis and Butthead used to say, you can't polish a turd. And so like, it's like, that is, that true words have never been spoken, right? So like you can put lipstick on the pig, but like, we all still know it's a pig, bro. So like, that's what I'm looking for when I go there.
If anybody's interested, it's called the Alpha School.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Their little
website and their ads and their Instagram all look great to me, but I do get, there are a lot of questions.
Those schools are for go-getters, and not all kids are go-getters. And when you're in 9th grade and you start going to a school like that and you're on a kindergarten reading level, tell me that kid's going to do that. So like I get,
and there are valid concerns for sure. Okay.
Is Leighton even in here today?
He's not. He partied too hard last night, I guess. Okay. Brosset is up next asking, are you able to text and pay attention at the same time? Oh, look at this. And you tell me you don't multitask. Okay. John's asking, when you were at my school, you didn't sit down for the entire 8 hours. Were you aware of that? Is that intentional?
I
think CJ's energized by energy, right? Especially like people energy. Like that is, even when we did our like testing stuff, like personality testing, that is something that gives CJ energy in life, is people, is doing all like going to a school and talking like you, it gives you energy and sustains you for the time. That's something that like I do, and I need to like rest for the next 3 days because I'm worn out by it. It's great and I love it, but it also drains me. So I'm not so sure if you're like it's not intentional. I just think you're like on fire when you're.
I don't
in
think it
moments
wasn't
like that.
intentional. I didn't even notice that.
It's because you gave him coffee. Is that mid-afternoon coffee?
I mean, look, coffee is the juice of life. But to what my wife was saying, John, it's when I'm around kids, and I know I'm doing meaningful work, I truly think God gives you the energy for the things he has created you for.
Ooh, amen.
And so when you're in, as my students say, when you're in your bag, right? When you're doing the thing you were created for, I think there's a supernatural ability that comes with that. And I've heard a lot of people talk about that. And I forget, I lose track of time. Which is not a good thing when you're teaching because you're just, it's like, oh, the class is over. Look at that. But like, it's like I said, I'm not good at everything, and keeping track of time in class is like one of those things. But it is just know you're doing something important. And I think part of that happens when like a kid comes up to you and wants to talk to you. For me, it's like tunnel vision. And I can lose track of time doing that. And that's why, like, when I go speak places, my wife constantly texts me, like, are you drinking water and did you eat something? Like, you have to eat something. And at your school, I didn't eat. I think I had a protein bar at some point, but I didn't eat breakfast and I didn't eat lunch, and I don't think I ate anything until that night. I found the Chipotle near the airport, and I might not have even. I think I ate a handful of macadamia nuts and another protein bar, but like, and coffee. But yeah, that's interesting to note because thank you for that. I don't know.
Okay.
You know, it makes me think, it's like when the Israelites were walking through the desert for 40 years, like, the Bible says that their shoes never wore out. Their feet didn't swell because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? They're following God, and then it doesn't, like,
All right. Rami? Am I saying that right? Vals always get me.
Rami. Sorry, we're a house of
dyslexics.
Yeah. So Vals, trip us up. I apologize.
All right. Shout out to teachers in Alberta who have sacrificed almost a month of pay during this strike. Almost 60,000 of us. Do you have any thoughts about it? This is in Canada.
I only know a little bit about this.
It says here primary issues are teacher pay, inflation. Did I say inflammation? Yeah. And working conditions, including class sizes and specifically support for students with complex needs.
Look, I mean, I think it's incredible. I mean, that people can do that.
I don't even know if they can. I guarantee people are definitely struggling without that.
Absolutely.
Like, that is hard.
But I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to be truly honest with you. Like, I honor that to such a great degree. I think that it is that when folks are fighting not only for students, but for the people that help students unlock who they are, it's always a thing, right? It's like teachers need to get paid more because you can't meet the cost of living. And I'll tell you this, let's make this controversial statement. My friend Shivy, if you go on Instagram at Call Me Shivy, he has a shirt that says something to the degree, a shirt that he makes that says teachers don't get paid enough because we do not honor the work of women, right? Teaching is largely a job that's done by women. And so it is very hard, maybe even impossible, to be head of household and be a teacher. I know that as head of household,
we really struggled when you were
home with our kids. Like, it was like the struggle bus, like squeaking by every month. If not, it was like begging from Peter to pay Paul kind of a deal. I don't even know what that came from, but like, sounds biblical, but
everybody knows, they've all been there.
You're just on the
Most people.
struggle bus, like trying to figure out like, how am I paying the electric bill this month? How am I going to pay we need a couple more bucks for the mortgage. What are we going to eat this week? Like, you're constantly doing that. And I think that is because largely we don't honor the work of women. And so teachers have never gotten paid enough. Now, look, I'm going to say this too, that I think teachers need to be held to a really high degree of like, if you're paying people more, you got to hold folks accountable. Cause I know too many folks that just be out there handing out worksheets and telling kids to go, get it done, turn it in on Friday. And
read
it's like,
the textbook and do
that's
the
not
5
teaching.
questions at the end.
Yes. No, that is not teaching. So we need to hold folks at a higher degree of accountability, but then we need to pay those folks what they're actually worth. And so
there's a lot that's all mixed up in that.
Especially, I mean, when we're talking about, especially with regards to like special education learners and things of that nature, it's like, come on, bro.
And class sizes, right? Like,
do you know what Burgess's class sizes were?
No.
I think they had a strike one time. They made them put in the contract. You had to cap a class at 40. Y'all aren't allowed to give us more than. Can you imagine? I've never had a class of 40.
No.
Well, no, that's not true.
You had one close to
an elective. I had over 50 kids in, but my typical classes were 22, depending on the IEPs, because IEPs would keep classes a little bit smaller. But then you have like the most 22 of the most challenging kids. 30 was about normal in Philly, maybe 31, 32. But like, even that is like, it's nuts. So.
Yeah. Marcus said it's only possible to hold people to a higher standard if you pay teachers more. Yeah, I think it comes with, right?
Amen.
It's a partner. Someone said their cap is 34.
Bro,
in a class.
right? Like
that's a lot.
In what world does that even work? Like how that stuff is. Yeah. So, and then to be honest, I only look at that stuff so much. I am in this season of my life. I am really focusing on this quote. The quote that really spoke to me this year was, if everyone swept in front of their own porch, the whole world would be clean. And it's like, I cannot influence any of that stuff, but I can influence what happens in front of and inside of my classroom to a large degree. So like there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. I just try and focus on the things that I've been given charge of. And it's like,
I like that because it's like, what do you have control over? There's so much craziness in the world, but I'm like, I don't have any control over like politics and some of those things. And that's also, I don't feel a call on that, but it's like,
that's the big thing, right? Like if I felt the call.
It's married, right? Yeah. It's a little bit of like, what are you called and what's your holy discontent that you have?
And that's not even as a teacher. Like I do all kinds of stuff. Like my channel's about teaching. I don't talk about all the other stuff that I do. Like, in the world to try and make it just or fair. But yeah.
All right. Marcus is up next asking, last week I had a test and it didn't go too well, mainly because many of the students didn't know the subject terms well enough, like land grabbing. What are your ideas on how to teach that better?
So here's what I would really do, Marcus. One, I would take all those tests. I would take the names out of them and run them through ChatGPT. You can just take pictures. You can add 10 pictures at a time to chat, unless you put them on your computer, put them in a zip file, and you can just pull a zip file right into
But what's your
chat.
Quick tip instead of taking pictures? Because if you had to take pictures of 32 tests,
here's the thing.
This tip.
I scan them in using the copy machine at school, and then you can email them to yourself. It'll send it to you as a zip file. But
find some sort of redact tool online.
Redact them. Yeah, you can do it. There's 100 different ways to redact information online,
chat.
right?
I'll walk you through it.
And then I will, but even, so there's 100 ways to do that, right? So then I will ask chat, hey, here's the latest test scores. What are the common themes of things that like, what are kids missing the most? What don't they understand? What do we need to go over again? So then I have a very clear sense of overall, where are the areas that I feel like my students are missing? And then it becomes one, asking kids, here's a number of things I saw that you didn't get. What's the deal here? Is there a way that I'm teaching that you don't get that is not it's not interesting, it's not engaging, it's not maybe fun enough. Like what's the deal? And then like really asking, because you never know what you're going to get from that. And then get real clear. I love to ask myself this question, Marcus. And when I say it, I curse in my brain, but like it's no nonsense, what would it take? Right? So, or no BS, what would it take? And then if I had to, right? This is absurd thought. I'm going to say it like this anyway. Gun to my head, I got to make sure the kids know what this is. How am I going to do it? It changes things, right? Because I'm not thinking about it in like the way I'd like to do it, or it's like, if I had to do this, gun to my head, how am I going to, no nonsense, what would it take to get kids to understand this? It helps me think of things differently. So then I'm thinking like, is it part of a video? Is it a game? Is it an activity? Is it a guest? Is it a trip? Is it small little bits of things each day that we're going to compound and build on top of one another? Are we going to build something? Am I going to have each kid learn one thing and then they're going to teach it to the class in the form of a 90-second TikTok to give them the general gist of what it is? Am I going to have kids act it out? Are they going to make projects based around it that are not a poster board thing or a don't get those trifold things out of here, garbage? But like, how am I going to get kids? What if we had a museum of this and every kid, your exhibit is land grabbing, and I want you to make it fun. You can make a song out of it. Like, what's your land grab jam? And you are creating, like, there's a movie trailer. You know, your exhibit is, there's a movie trailer. The movie is called Land Grab. And like, what's it look like in a world where people are, you know, whatever, like being sent to the West to do any, you know, what are we looking at there that's going to bring kids in, that's going to make them care, that's going to get them excited, it's going to break it down so that it's like, you get this, and then give myself an amount of time to do that. Kids don't need forever to do a project. Parkinson's law says a project or an activity, take the time you give it. So if you have all day to clean your house, you all know it takes all day to clean your house. But you know, if your in-laws are coming over in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, y'all can get that thing cleaned real quick. I know that if I tell my kids, are like, can we go out with these people? Yo, your room has to be cleaned first. Suddenly, I don't know how it happens. It's like miraculous how quick it can get cleaned up. So it's taking on the challenge and taking on the ownership. Every time you put things on kids, they're not learning it because they're not studying, because they didn't do it, because it was their fault they weren't paying. I get it. That might be true. Your kids might not be engaged. They might be tired. They might be staying up too late playing Fortnite all night. They might be disengaged, or they hate school, or they're underprepared, or whatever. I understand all of that. That just doesn't empower me. So if I take on ownership and go, no nonsense, no BS, what would it take? It helps me to think different and engage. I show up with a different energy because I'm in charge. If I'm the coach, I can't put the onus on the players. If I do that, then I'm going to lose. I have to know that I have some ability in this, some agency in this, and it helps me show up different.
So Marcus said that he asked them what they thought, and they pretty much everyone said that it had nothing to do with my teaching. They just had to study more next time. And also he said to clarify, the results were good still, it's just not as good as the previous test, which didn't have as many subject-specific words.
So when kids say, I got to study more, I find that most kids don't know what they mean by saying study more. They just think that spends more time looking at a piece of paper and reading through it 1,000 times. So what I would do, Marcus, and one of the reasons that I do so many reviews in class is because I want to get kids to understand how they learn how you learn. And so it's doing all kinds of different activities, doing all kinds of different reviews to help kids start identifying what works best. And then we're going to double down on those sorts of activities, and the sorts that don't work, we get rid of and we don't do again.
All right, we're at an hour, but I want to ask Mallory's last question.
Sure.
If we can get to it. She's saying, would you share about your workout routine and how you get yourself to go every day? I'm trying to get back on track, but with a little one at home on top of working full time, I'm struggling.
All right. So one, Mallory.
I'm just going to say, before you even go there, I was a hater of CJ's method when I started going to the gym. When I finally added the gym,
You
back
dissed
to my,
it like the
I really,
second day. You're like, this is so easy.
no, I think it was the third day.
So easy.
It was like the first weekend. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. It's too basic. You don't really do enough. Like, is what I thought. And I'm gonna tell you, I was wrong. Go ahead.
So I would say one, Mallory.
Live on air. I was wrong.
It is, if you can get someone to go with you, it makes it easier.
Yes,
because now you're accountable to someone else. To a large degree, for those that don't know, this is not a flex. It's just to tell you how much this works. Today, I have to go. I missed the gym twice last week. And so if I miss it during the week, I have to go on the weekend.
Because we just do Monday through Friday.
Today will be workout 688 without missing a workout, right? And I take off Saturday and Sunday. So that's not even 600. That's not even the number of days it has been. It's just workout days, 688 days without missing a workout. And part of that is Brody. I mean, my wife joined several months ago, but like Brody and I, no nonsense. We just go all the time. That's one. Two, you have to make the workout so unbelievably doable that there is no reason that your kids could have been up throwing up all night. You got no sleep. You taught all day. You know you still have to go to the gym, but maybe it is going in and doing 3 sets, not exercises, 3 sets of anything, right? And I don't even care if you do them to failure. So you could literally go in and you're like, I like what, maybe there's something like, what's something that doesn't completely suck at the gym? So like,
no, to me, it's
calf raises, right? Like,
or like, I love leg day because to me, it's the easiest one. It's the like squeeze it with your legs or push it out with your legs. I'm like, those are so easy.
We call it the crotch workout.
That's a terrible name, but they're so, it's like the simplest day to me.
Yeah. Or like leg lifts and you're on the machine where you're just kind of chilling and then leg lifting, right? So it could be three sets. That's it. All you want to do is just show up every day. I used to have a friend. I think this is a little bit too easy. Corey Muscolino, her deal with herself was I got to go sign in every day at the gym. And then I get dressed. I go to Planet Fitness. I scan in and I decide, do I want to stay or do I want to leave? And she's like, some days I walk back out and get in my car.
But I think that's easy. That is the super duper low bar, but really the point of it, Mallory, is and this is why I like had such an issue. I thought I had to be like depleted, like, and be working out and sore and all the things, right, to go to the gym. And it's setting the bar so low that it's maintainable, that you can do it and stick to your 5 days a week or 3 days a week or whatever it is that you set up for yourself. But it's making it so simple that even on the days when you feel so exhausted and tired, or I often get headaches a lot due to like allergy things. So if I have a headache, man, I give myself the grace. It's like, I got there, I did it. I did the simplest of whatever, whether we're doing arms, core, or legs, we break it up. I do the simplest exercises that I can kind of get through and do the basic of it. And it's like, great, I showed up. And the point is that you showed up and you were consistent and made the habit. It's not about having this crazy, we did do a crazy, insane workout before that was like really intense for like it took a good 45 minutes.
An hour and it kicked your butt. And Brody and I were swimming.
We just had like a much more intense workout. And it was like, nope, we've realized that the reason CJ can do almost 700 days straight of not missing a workout is because the bar set so easily. Some days it's more, you give more when you can, and other days. And
that's the thing, right? So then you might go and you're like, no, I feel great. Let me push more, or I have more time or whatever. I am in the best shape of my life because my minimum is 8 sets at the gym. Right? That's 4 exercises, 2 times each, and I'm done. Right. And then it's walk 2 miles twice a week. Right. But like, so the other thing is these last 2 things I'll tell you. And this is my goal for this. How I achieve everything in my whole life. Right. Is by making goals so doable. It is like, bro, there's no reason that you can't do that no matter what. The other thing is tracking it. So I use a tracker. You can use a calendar, whatever it is you want to do, marking so you can see, because there's a point that I'm at now where like on my habit tracker, I do this thing where I like put these little green, the things over there.
Right.
I put these like little, you can't really see it, but
There
all those little green dots, and then the gray ones are
you don't have to track.
I don't have it. And then you can see there's red ones on the bottom because there's certain activities I do that I'm not good at, like doing my inversion table every day, which is basically hanging upside down in my bedroom. But because I always think of to do it after I eat. But anyway, once you have a bunch of those stacked up, dude, you cannot not go. I think that's another part. And then you have to make it every day. It can't be once a week. It can't be 3 times a week. It's like, do something every day. So for us, it's 3 days a week at the gym and then 2 days a week doing something else. I used to run 2 days a week. I would swim 2 days a week. I do hot yoga 2 days a week.
But it changes. Sometimes it's been in the morning. Sometimes it's in the evening.
Yeah.
Sometimes our walks during the school year are in the morning, but in the school year, during the summer, it's during the day and in the morning, and during the school year, it's at night after dinner, right? Because it's also a great time to aids in digestion. Or with you having a little one, it's like maybe your off day is not, it's like a walk with your kiddo or walking with them when they're skateboarding or they're like riding their little bike or scooter or whatever. It's just make it so simple. Like that's the biggest thing that
I do it during school and do it during your prep. And I'm going to walk for 15 minutes every day during my prep around the parking lot.
Right.
But it's like
how can
every
you fit
day,
it in?
Making it small, making it doable, doing it over and over and over again, tracking your wins.
Yes.
That is the only way. So that's how I've been able to do it.
All right. Well, we have more questions, but that ends.
But we are at over an hour and I got to go do family time. Listen,
let's go take our own 2-mile walk today.
Yeah. My best piece of advice, if you're not getting your questions answered during the week, the earlier you show up and get it in, we just go in order, unless you do a super chat. And I'm not saying this to incentivize super chats, right? But that's
just trying to honor them.
Yeah. We're just trying to honor like folks that donate money to the Reynolds Teenagers Can Eat Fund. Those get bumped up to the top, but just if you just show up early, we're just going to do it anyway. So with that, new workshop getting announced this week that I think you're going to love and it will change your life. You'll see that come out this week at some point. And then
I'm sure everybody already knows what it is. If you want to say
it is basically using ChatGPT and not in ways that you think about that it's going to literally revolutionize your life. And it's a free mastermind, right? It's a free masterclass rather. So it costs nothing. And it will change your life. If you need someone to speak at your school, QR code's coming up. Click, just hold your phone up to that thing. It's going to give you all the information from the email to send to your school, to my speaker trailer, to the brochure, all that stuff. I'd love to come to your school and speak with you. Anything else? And you can afford it. Don't just think, I can't afford Reynolds coming to my school. Ask,
We get tons of emails from administrators that say, my teachers have recommended you.
Yes. That's how I get most gigs. Oh my gosh, who are you? But we're not sure we can afford you. Let's have the conversation because I bet you can.
Yep.
That's it, gang. We'll talk to you next week. Peace. Oh, that didn't work. Here we go.
Hit the button.
Peace again.